Day 31, bit of a gray looking old day. It's 10:30.
Get some spots on the windows.
Yeah, and they're calling for showers this afternoon, but it looks like they've come in earlier.
Yeah.
We were thinking of coming down and doing the heritage walk along here, but rethinking it.
Maybe
Maybe we'll just head to the whaling station.
Maybe we'll go out to the whaling station.
Yeah.
I might go straight down to the bottom though, because we haven't been all the way down this street, and just have a look at the Esplanade area.
Sure.
Oh, I guess this is a polling station here. It's an election here in WA.
Election day.
Yeah.
Now, is it state and
Well, state and local, I guess.
and local? Lovely roundabout. Beautiful.
That
Squatto.
Stunning.
Uniting Church.
Well,
We're looking for a French bakery. Isn't this stunning?
absolutely beautiful.
Beautiful place. We're going to do as much of the walk as we can before the rains hit. So this is the Albany Historic Trail. There's the Museum of the Great Southern over there.
The Bertola.
Here's the store. And here we have the jail's office. Neat old settee. And that's the original fireplace there. This was also used as a warder's lockup and keeper's quarters. So the jail was actually built by convicts for convicts in 1852. Lots of interesting stuff in there. That's actually art made out of, what is it, bullet casings and...
Trench art takes many forms, from the simple etching on a bullet casing to the more elaborate carved and shaped lampstands and vases. So those are old shell casings.
Wow. And that's the convict hiring depot entrance. Low door frames, period architecture leads to the cell area. So here's the cell area. And of course they do have their resident ghost here, or a couple of them supposedly.
There must be a couple.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's their fashion.
yeah, but you can put them on if you want.
Jeez.
Feel free to use the costumes for great fun photos.
So this was the size of a cell. So this is the isolation cell. We've got a pretty dastardly fella in there now. Also known as the black hole.
It would be pretty mentally exhausting, I think, to be in there.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Like, obviously you can't get the... Well, there you could get the feeling of being hemmed in. You can see the size of the walls. And that's it. Whoa. This is a one-man cell.
And it is 7 foot by 4 foot, or 213.5 centimeters by 122 centimeters.
Not a huge amount of room. And here we have the two-man cell. It was originally a one-man cell, but they ended up putting 2 men in because the prisoners were suffering psychological problems when isolated.
Here stands Peter McCain, alias William MacDonald, convicted of the murder of fellow ticket of leave man Henry Marriott at Slab Hut Gully in 1872. He left his cell for the gallows on October the 12th, 1872.
So he was the first hung here.
And his eyes just stare at you.
Actually, they do. Here's another one-man cell. Yikes. Okay, in here, this is a two-man cell. The death mask of Frederick Bailey Deeming is displayed in this cell. He brutally murdered 2 wives and his 4 children. He was held here prior to his extradition to Melbourne, where he was hanged May 23rd, 1892. Well, at least this one has a window. So he was the most notorious convict in Albany. And this was his death mask. So it was a common practice of executed convicts that they made a mask of them after they were executed and displayed them to the public. And they were also made so that they could be analyzed to see if there was something wrong with their brains that caused their behavior. So this more salubrious cell is a two-man cell.
Yes. And we've got convict
Attire.
apparel. And it says here that the black and mustard yellow halves uniform were worn by prisoners in chain gangs and were made of coarse wool. And the broad arrow mark indicated British government property. And then over here, this one says, the uniform was primarily worn by convicts who were undergoing extra punishment, such as those sentenced to work in leg chains. The design was intended to be highly visible and to mark the wearer as a person of degraded status, making it easy for authorities to identify and manage those prisoners, which meant they probably got more shit thrown on them.
But they did have a big exercise yard. That is said tongue-in-cheek. This is the exercise yard.
Here's the climbing wall.
Wow.
And bits of glass in the top all around.
Original door to the latrine closed.
So the sealers were people who came here in the seal trade. Many of the sealers who initially arrived as part of the sealing trade would eventually become convicts in Western Australia due to multiple reasons, including association with criminal activities, runaways. Scandinavia and North American sealers and whalers often jumped ship due to the harsh working and living conditions. When they were caught, they were locked in this cell, awaiting the arrival of a vessel from their country of origin to be returned.
Ah.
So there you go. That's a boat.
Yep.
So you've got, so that's, and then you've got the Aboriginal carving stuff over on here. Aboriginal carvings that adorn its surface. These carvings, believed to be the oldest Aboriginal artwork associated with the cell in Western Australia, include depictions of local wildlife such as a snake, a lizard, and kangaroo.
And the tower. The isolated, secure environment of a tower within a jail offered a way to physically separate mentally ill individuals from the general prison population.
I'm in the right spot.
Yeah, mental illness was not understood, and the treatment options available were limited. Few medical professions trained in psychiatry treatment. Incarcerating mentally ill people was seen as a way to manage them without resorting to more invasive or punitive methods.
Here's the original wall. Made of granite and sun-dried bricks, 18 inches thick, broken glass.
Yeah,
Broken glass.
used as an escape deterrent.
Not broken glass, but glass. Arrow.
So here's the women's cell block.
Salubrious accommodation.
And they've got a separate exercise yard. And most of the women prisoners were in here for drunkenness or prostitution.
I think they go hand in hand.
Probably. So this was the wardess's room, originally for the daughters of Warder John McGovern, later a storeroom. Oh, it's got indoor plumbing there.
There you are. I told you it was salubrious.
Look at the size of the bath.
Yes.
So this was the laundry and the kitchen.
Look at those presses.
Yeah. Well, this one's got a Normal size bathtub in it.
Yep.
Signs of original double boiler, baker's oven included in the west wall until the bakehouse was built. Coming through here,
Oh, the cells.
the cells. There's one very happy looking
Ooh.
woman.
Looks like Halloween. Yes.
Not any bigger than the men's cells, so they believed in equality then.
All built for 2 occupants. Infrequently used, it says. Now here's a lady of the night, this one.
Oh, yes. So this is cell 25, which supposedly has ghosts. And there's different legends as to who the ghosts are. Supposedly one is of a young girl who died in childbirth, but there's actually no record of it, official record of it, and that she haunts the cell. They've done well. What a sad face. This is widely regarded as one of the most haunted places in Western Australia. The jail has a dark and chilling history. And it was supposedly an Aboriginal woman, and people claim they hear the baby crying and the woman sobbing. Here's the day room, which is much better than being in the cells.
The kitchen table. In the harsh world of the 19th century jails, executions were a grim and public spectacle that not only marked the end of life, but also served as a harsh reminder to the authority of the law. The process, execution, and subsequent handling of the body was an unsettling part of the jail's grim rituals. The body of Peter McKean, the only man hung at the Albany Convict Jail, was removed from the gallows, still limp and lifeless, and placed on the kitchen table, here, in this room, for his body to cool. Was then moved to the front of the jail, left on display for hours as a form of humiliation and deterrence. Members of the public, eager for this grisly form of entertainment, would gather around his body, mocking him and throwing rotten fruit and cabbage, and hurled stones and other objects at his corpse. Hey.
So what do you figure those are?
Some sort of a churn.
Churn for butter?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Don't we have it
Or
made?
cheese.
Yeah.
Here's pretend like cheese stuff.
Yeah,
so
don't-
maybe.
Don't we have it made now? Jeez. The Depot Hall, presumed to be for barracks for colonial and imperial prisoners, later used as a ward for hard labor prisoners, trial prisoners, day room and dining room. Wow.
Sounds like we got pigeons roosting right there.
There we've got Queen Victoria up there in Pride of Place. There's the main street and town hall, circa, does it have a date on it?
I can't see anything on there now. But
Nipper Peaks, the last transported convict to live in Albany. He died in 1910. And that's a bit sobering.
Peter McKean was hanged in the courtyard October the 12th, 1872 for the murder of fellow ticket-to-leave man Yorkie Marriott at Slab Hut. A portable scaffold was sent from Fremantle. The hangman, also a convict, was given 12 months remission from the sentence.
Aren't these neat? So we're just heading over to the Trig now, the Amity brig, the brig. sea today, nor sky.
Going down the road the other day, we saw these flowers, and I saw this. What the heck? Pokey Hill. That Tony's everywhere.
Back into Torndurup National Park. Again, we're going to the whaling station. Figured good thing to do on a dismal day.
It's sort of hit and miss for weather, but it's all right.
See how we go. Wow. Hilda Hawker has collected all of these shells.
Look at some of the size of some of them.
And it's not just there, like, oh, wow. They're amazing.
60 years ago, I found a really beautiful shell on Middleton Beach, and that was the beginning of my collection.
Oh. So she's been collecting them for 60 years. As Neil says, this is just a little bit crass. There's the harpoon, and down there's a whale with a smile on its face. Like, really? In September 1791, Captain George Vancouver watered his ships Discovery and Chatham here in this bay. So this is the stern.
It says steam-assisted rudder. Sonar operated.
And here's the donkeyman's quarters. Quite salubrious as well. Over 60% of the world's whale oil came from Albany. And this is the sonar operator's headquarters. Ah, the chief engineer. He had a bigger room. Look at the size of this.
Salubrious.
Salubrious is
Writing
correct.
desk and everything.
The shower and the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
And the heart of the ship, the engine room. So, this was a compound engine, which is a steam engine that operates cylinders through more than one stage, that is, at different pressure levels. It usually refers to steam being expended through two stages. Don't I sound knowledgeable? Makes Georgia's engine room look a little tiny.
So in the engine room, a typical day for engine room crew was 8 hours a day, 4 hours on, 4 hours off, 6 days a week for 9 to 10 months of the year. There you go. So they're always making sure that it was ready to go. If the skipper yelled full steam ahead, or there she blows. The chief engineer would man the foredeck steam winch, which attached to the forerunner, the rope attached to the harpoon, and winch the whale up alongside the ship. A chaser would then continue on in the late afternoon, returning to pick up the whales, threading a steel wire through a tail hole. A catcher could tow up to 12 whales back to the station, where they would tie them to a buoy offshore. A small tow ship would take 3 at a time to the fencing decks of the station.
Here's the galley. Mine in Georgia was
Lots
just
of
a
meals
tad
came out of
better.
that, I bet.
Yeah.
This is caught up to 1,000 whales a year.
And here's the officer's mess. These are the pumps that were used to pump the whale oil out to the ships to be distributed around the world. That was really well done. All the way up around this staircase into what they've done is taken one of the old oil tank reservoirs and turned it into a viewing platform. And it's just all the stories of the ships and the people who worked on them. And here are all the names of the people who actually worked for the whaling company. And yes, whaling was not the right thing, but in its day, that was all they knew. There wasn't a... Here we have John Manson.
Nobody I know. I find it interesting that it looks like there were plaques here.
Yeah, and they've taken them out. And that could be for political reasons.
Could be.
It's really well done. It's not glorifying whaling, but it's a part of history.
That's right. It can't be denied.
It can't be denied. It happened. And it was a livelihood for people.
Yeah.
As Neil says, could you imagine coming up to a 40-ton whale in this? This is so very, very well done. You can spend hours. Well, we've already spent 2 hours in here. So this is scrimshaw, something I'd never heard of before. It's the carving, excuse me, of whale bone, any kind of bone, teeth, horns, etc. And this is a 4-meter piece from the jaw of a sperm whale, and it tells the story of the sinking of the Kathleen in 1902, and it was actually sunk by a whale. Pretty cool. Wow. This is a skeleton shed. "11-meter sperm whale." That's huge. 22 meters. Never heard of a grays-beaked whale. Yeah, we got our dolphins. A false killer whale. And a pygmy sperm whale. All of these skeletons are from whales that have been washed up on beaches. And it's really interesting the process that's used to actually preserve them. Is they take and they remove the meat and the blubber like in the ordinary old whaling process. Then they take and they actually bury them close to the whaling station for up to 4 years, and just the natural microorganisms in the soil clean the bones perfectly. They then turn around and dig them back up, document where everything goes, and then put them on display. That is huge, and that's a pygmy one.
So this is where the, I guess the rendering?
Yeah, that was the cooking pot.
The cooking pot? Yeah. And those big cogs, they turned everything around. And
40-foot whale, 40-ton whale.
40-ton whale in each one of those things. Yeah. And it'll only take a few hours. 3.5 hours. There you go. Wow. So the liquids were separated, so we ended up with whale oil on the top, and then the middle layer was the glue water, and then the bottom was Grax, and the Grax was the
Ended up as fertilizer.
fertilizer, yeah, and the glue water, well, that was dried, we saw that earlier.
Yeah, went into pellets and became feed for livestock.
There you go. They used everything. This is McBride's hut. And one of the first families in the area. I don't know whether I could renovate this one or not. Oh, that's the door squeaking. Wow. There we go.
It's a really bizarre shaped plane. It's got a propeller in the front and a propeller in the back. And it does explain it here why. It's got a unique push-pull centerline arrangement. Front engine had a counter-rotating propeller and the rear engine had a pusher propeller. The advantage of this was if one engine failed, the plane could be controlled with the remaining engine.
Maximum speed is 322 kilometers per hour.
There you go. Another really good room. It's just all photographs of the whalers and the processes, and
Yeah.
brings a real human side to something that was really inhumane, sorry. I'm just so surprised. This is really good. The actual center is really well done. I mean, that's a beautiful place to have lunch or just a coffee or whatever.
Yeah, fantastic.
And they've got a huge, this area is huge. They've got a really big gift shop. And we just totally enjoyed the whole thing. Here we have a wombat.
Yes. I can grow up to 1.2 meters long. They can run up to 40k an hour.
I just think it's, I don't like it. It's too small a closure.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to give the rest of this a miss. We just, neither of us like the small little pen areas for these,
Poor thing.
for native wildlife, like that wombat.
Corner.
Yeah, no. No, thank you. This is their botanical gardens. These are neat.
Yeah.
Just their mini version of the wetlands. And here's my weird plant that I like, but they don't tell me what it is.
We saw this earlier and just looked like an interesting mix of things in this field. This is on the way out to the whaling station. Just gonna go through the ditch. Oh. How good is that? Pulled by a couple of horses. And down here we got an old tractor and a car that has seen better days. And I like the name of the place. It's called, well, you'll see it, Muddy Bottom Creek. And what a cool letterbox.
We're off to Venice, an Italian restaurant.
In
for
400
dinner.
meters. At the roundabout, take the third exit on York Street.
Be quiet. And we just had a lovely chat with Paul and Allie. Oh, geez, it must have been for about at least half an hour. It was just so nice to hear their voices and chat.
Yeah,
just
people
about
that you love and care about.
Yeah.
Just chatting.
just chat away. It was really nice, but it unfortunately makes me homesick. There are so many eateries here. Burgers and shakes, Southern Vietnamese, Wombat Lodge.
Look at the stylized horse inside at the balcony.
Oh yeah,
Inside there.
cool. The Hub on York, beautiful old building.
Fantastic.
And then here we've got a Turkish,
This is our restaurant.
is it? We're at our little Italian restaurant that was highly recommended,
Yes, Venice.
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 So we'll see what the food's like.
And I've got the shirt that Charna wanted me to wear on.
The little girl that served us didn't really seem to have much of a clue about anything.
They're lovely people, but a little bit dim.
And Neil broke her down towards the end. So we're ordering a margarita pizza as an entree, and now
With
we're
extra cheese.
With extra
Funny
cheese.
that.
Surprise, surprise.
Are you?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
You're on.
Day 30, isn't it?
I don't know.
I think it is. It's Saturday.
Well, it would be because we left on a Thursday, so 28 plus 2.
Very good. Today was a bit of a drizzly, overcast, off and on rain. The first actual inclement weather we've had, which is, we can't really complain about.
Not in 4 weeks.
No, not in 4 weeks. So we started out planning on doing the historic walk down in the city. We got as far as the jail, which was actually
Or the Gale.
the Gale, which was actually pretty good. We were quite
Oh.
impressed with it.
Oh, could have spent more time there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I think that was it. Then we decided we better.
We walked over to look at the brig and we thought, hang on, this is too much to do just quickly. So we decided, no, let's go out to the whaling station, which was our big plan for the day.
So the whaling station out in Torndirrup National Park. I think I
Oh,
might have
good for
pronounced-
you.
Whoa, I'm getting there.
Ah. 4 glasses of champagne and you got it right.
It was really a sleeper.
Hmm.
Like we thought it'd be okay and it'd be good, but so they say to allow some people spend 1 to 2, some 2 to 4, some 4 to 6 hours there, but they said the majority, maybe 2 hours. We spent 4.5 hours.
Easy.
I
Yeah.
could have easily spent longer. It
Yeah.
was
If you
really-
take the time to look at things,
yeah.
read things, sit in the audio-visual stuff, Yeah.
And I think if you take that time to actually read the things, you get a better understanding of what they're trying to portray or what they're trying to get across. And it was, and the line I'm using now is, it was like looking at the human side of an inhumane time. But at that time, that was what people did. That was their
It was
livelihood.
their job, their
That
income,
was
their
job,
livelihood.
their income.
Yeah.
They didn't glorify whaling, but they helped you to understand the reasons why whaling existed and why it was abolished, and the whole process in between, which was really, really interesting.
And Greenpeace was very, very active here in the 77, 78. And
It showed the personal side of it also, like the families and their interactive exhibits and their little theatrical displays were really quite poignant. We walked away from there feeling quite,
wasn't a fan of the little zoo.
no,
Aussie marsupials and things in small little cages, and I just thought, oh.
no, we just didn't spend much time there.
No.
But for us, $30 each, it was definitely money well spent.
I
And,
agree, 100%.
Yeah, you could get so much out of it, and what a great thing to do on a crap day.
Yeah, 100%. So I would say 7 thumbs up for 7.
Yeah, I'd say 7-8 thumbs for the Whaling Center.
For the Whaling Center. Yeah.
And then we had a great phone call with Paul and Ali.
Yes.
Hi guys. It was nice to hear their voices and just have a good old chat and yarn. Like
Apparently, Paul has wind. Oh no, it's windy. It's windy in Newcastle. Yeah.
But it was just nice to chat with them. And then we went out for an Italian dinner that was highly recommended.
Okay.
Yeah, it was all right,
But it's like that thing where people talk about how great a movie is, and you don't go for the first number of weeks, and you go and you're going, okay.
Yeah.
But
No,
anyway.
like it was good. It was palatable and it was lovely, and we didn't have to cook, so that was great. But yeah, it didn't live up to our expectations whatsoever.
Yeah. Anyways, better than Hungry Jack's though, probably.
So then we took a quick drive up to the memorial because we thought maybe lit up at night it would, and it was spectacular during the day, but that maybe it might be quite spectacular, but it wasn't. So we didn't.
Yeah, I think the
filming
lighting
that.
people need to have a little bit of a talk to. Yeah. Anyways, it was good, and we had a great day. So love yous all.
Toodles.
Hasta la vista. Baby.
Now you can get up and close it off.
Oh, I have to.
Yes.
I've got to get up. Oh.
Yep.
Okay, me doing everything again.
I'm too busy drinking my bubbly.
Oh my God! Here I go. I'm a happy, happy man. I'm a happy man.
Actually, we screwed up. It's day 31, not day 30, and it's bloody cold.
Day 31 means 31 times 6 bottles. No, not that many bottles. Sorry.